Welcome, everyone. If you're a focused learner looking to finally demystify gardening, well, you are in exactly the right place. In today's explainer, we're going to take those incredibly common, frustrating gardening mistakes and transform them into a clear, visual guide for absolute beginner success. So let's get right into it.
Why are your flowers dying? Look, I know it's a painful question. You planted them with such high hopes, right? You were dreaming of this beautiful, lush yard, but instead, you're looking out the window at weak growth, sparse blooms, and just weeds everywhere. I completely understand that frustration. But the good news? It is entirely fixable.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with saving your flower beds, then move on to smart planting and selection. After that, we'll hit the rules of successful planting, the absolute basics of watering and protection, and finally, the secrets to long blooming.
Section 1. Saving your flower beds.
Now, the entire goal of this explainer is a total transformation. Like the quote says, fix these 10 mistakes, and your flower beds will transform from struggling to spectacular. I want to reassure you right out of the gate. Achieving a gorgeous yard? It isn't about magic, and it's definitely not about having some mysterious green thumb. It is literally just about correcting a few basic, foundational errors.
Section 2. Smart planning and selection.
Okay, so gardening success actually begins long before a plant ever touches the dirt. Think about it. A plant that acts as a perennial, meaning it comes back year after year in Zone 7, well, it might behave like an annual in Zone 5. That means it's just going to freeze and die the second winter hits. Before you buy anything, check the USDA Plant Hardiness Zone map online so you aren't bringing home plants that are practically destined to fail in your specific climate.
And matching light requirements is just as critical. Imagine putting a sun-loving coneflower in the deep shade. It's going to grow incredibly leggy, reaching for the light, and it won't bloom at all. On the flip side, drop a shade-loving hosta right into the baking full sun, and it literally scorches and collapses. Matching a plant's specific light needs, whether that's full sun, partial shade, or full shade, is just an absolute baseline for garden care. It's all about putting the right plant in the right place.
Now here is another ridiculously common planting mistake. You go to the nursery, everything looks amazing, and you buy plants that are in full bloom in May. Well, you might find yourself staring at an expensive pile of plain green leaves by July. Those plants already had their big moment. Always check a plant's specific bloom time before you buy it so you can actually plan for continuous color.
Section 3. Rules of successful planting. Let's move to and see how this builds.
2. That is the magic number, specifically 2 inches of compost that you really need to work into the top 6 to 8 inches of your soil before you even think about planting. Most people focus entirely on the pretty plants and completely ignore soil health, which inevitably produces weak plants. Mixing in this 2-inch layer is a game changer for beginners. It improves drainage, aeration, and frees up nutrients.
Next up, pay really close attention to this definition of the crown. It's the point right where the roots meet the stems. A shockingly common beginner mistake is planting a perennial way too deep and completely burying this crown. Guys, if you do this, the plant literally suffocates under the soil. Always plant at the exact same depth it was growing in its nursery pot, or maybe even a tiny bit shallower. Let's talk about spacing. Now, plant tags tell you exactly how wide a plant is going to grow at maturity, but so many of us just ignore this because we want our gardens to look full right now. But overcrowding leads to poor air circulation, and that is the #1 cause of fungal disease in flowers. Giving your plants the proper space isn't just about making things look tidy. It is hands down your absolute best method for fighting off common flower diseases before they even start.
Section 4. Basics of watering and protection.
And this brilliantly illustrates the 2 massive extremes you've got to avoid when learning the basics of plant care. Overwatering literally drowns the roots. You'll see yellowing and eventually total root rot. On the flip side, underwatering causes severe wilting, crispy leaf edges, and stunted growth. Recognizing the difference between a drowning plant and a thirsty plant is absolutely vital. So how do we prevent both of those extremes? Use this simple, totally actionable rule of thumb. The finger test. It's the ultimate beginner trick. Stick your finger down into the dirt. If the top inch is dry, it's time to water. If it feels moist, just wait. It really is that simple, and it saves so many plants from certain doom.
So the crucial point here is applying 2 to 3, let's average it out to 2.5 inches of organic mulch. We're talking wood chips, shredded bark, or compost. Mulch is, without a doubt, the single best investment you can make in a flower bed. It locks in moisture, acts like insulation to regulate temperature, and chokes out weeds. Just remember one golden rule. Never ever pile that mulch directly against the plant stems or you'll cause rot.
Section 5. Secrets of long blooming.
Okay, deadheading is your secret weapon. By removing spent, dying flowers, you stop the plant from putting all its energy into making seeds. Instead, you redirect that energy right back into creating new blooms. This gives you way bigger flowers for a much longer period. To do this properly, you need the right tools for planting and pruning in your kit. Always use clean, sharp scissors or pruners. You want to make your cut on the flower stem, right above a leaf node or a set of fresh buds.
Finally, you absolutely need a strategic bloom schedule for your garden. Don't plant everything just to put on a massive show for a 2-week window in June. Instead, plant in deliberate ways. Choose early spring bloomers, follow those up with plants that pop in the summer, and finish out the year strong with fall bloomers. Setting up this specific schedule guarantees you'll have continuous gorgeous color from the very first days of spring all the way to the first frost.
Which leaves us with one final, incredibly important question. Will your flower beds remain a daily struggle, or are you ready to make them spectacular? Armed with these clear, structured rules, from smart planning and soil health to proper spacing, watering, and deadheading, you have absolutely everything you need to avoid those common mistakes. You are equipped to get out there and transform your yard today. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and happy gardening!